Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rocky Mountain Raptor program. Today is Wednesday, time for our virtual program. And today we're going to be talking about owl eyes. And if you enjoy this talk today, you can go back to my talk 2 weeks ago, and it was on diurnal eyes. They were fascinating, the diurnal eyes, which are daytime owls, eagles, hawks, and falcons. Today we're going to be talking about owl eyes, and they're fascinating, and I think you'll enjoy it. And joining me right over here is a western screech owl. And this western screech owl, and that is an excellent view. You can start seeing her beautiful eyes. They're huge eyes. The owl's eyes are from 1 to 5% of their body weight. And if that were converted to me, my eyes, which Google tells me weigh 1/4 of an ounce, that's obviously a great place to get that kind of data. That means that my eyes would weigh over 2 pounds. And clearly 1/4 of an ounce, that's a huge difference. So owls' eyes take up a huge percentage of their body. They also have We're also bombarded by electromagnetic radiation. And that goes from the long signals of radio waves to the very dangerous waves of gamma rays. And we're able to see just a very small portion of that in the visual spectrum. Birds, however, can see more of the spectrum, and they can see into the near ultraviolet. So they can see more light, different kinds of light than we can. So she is looking at us, and she is seeing something different than we are seeing. So she is quite a lovely girl. And you can see the difference between a western and an eastern screech owl by the color of their beak, one of the differences. She has a dark beak. She also has a very different a different call. Now she has a 70-degree binocular vision, and that's a lot. Humans have about 140 degrees of binocular vision, and that's terrific. Now prey, if you can see this rabbit we put on the chart here, it's got very little binocular vision. So you've probably heard the old saying, eyes on the front, ready to hunt, eyes on the side, you better hide. Well, predators need a great deal of binocular vision in order to locate their prey and in order to keep an eye to find their prey. Prey, they need to see as much as they can, as much of 360 degrees around them to protect themselves. So they don't really need to have binocular vision in front of them, so that they need to be able to escape. But binocular vision gives you 3 dimensions. It gives you perspective on where you are and the ability to attack. So binocular vision is extremely important for these guys. And for this gentleman that we're looking at, the great horned owl, as I mentioned, she sees in the near ultraviolet. She's also a bird that will fly and find a place to roost and wait to hunt. So she comes out about sunset, and she finds a place that might be a likely spot. And since she can see in the near ultraviolet, she can see the trails of the urine trails of the prey that she's after. So it's a little bit like Eat at Joe's. So she'll find a spot on a trail, and she'll land, and with her great vision and her great eyes, with her great hearing, she'll wait to capture that prey. Go ahead. So one of the bad parts of her eyes is that her eyes fill up her skull to such a degree that she can't move her eyes. She doesn't really have eyeballs. She has eye tubes, and they're held in place by bone, and they're called sclerotic plates. sclerotic rings to be held in place. So she can't move her eyes like we can. We can move our eyes all around. In order for her to move her eyes, she has to move her entire head. Fortunately, her skull sits on her backbone with a single connection, a single bone. We have two. So I can move my head to a certain degree. She can move hers 270 degrees, nearly 360, nearly all around. And if you've ever seen an owl move her head 270, they're usually doing that because they're worried about something behind them or something near them. And once they move their head from here, I'm going to turn my head over to my right, and I could look over my left shoulder. That's 270 degrees. And if I were worried about something and I was an owl, I would do that so quickly, and I would come back and go back that quickly. It looks like they're doing 360, but they're not really. So they can't rotate their head completely. Now, as she's sitting on that limb and she's looking for something to eat, light is coming into her eyes. And if you can imagine yourself, you walk into your room tonight when you're going to go to bed, and you've been decorating your bedroom really nicely. It's got this nice blue cover on the bed, and it's got a red lamp, and you like your room a lot. And you go in, and you're getting ready to go to bed, and you turn the light off. Well, suddenly you can't see anything. It's completely dark. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes for your rods to take over from your cones. And let me explain that on this chart. So as light comes into your eyes, it goes to the back of your eyes, and there's two kinds of photoreceptors. One is cones, one is best for daylight, and it provides color. One is rods, it's best at night, and it also is really good for motion, which is great for an owl hunting at night. So as you walk into that room and turn the light off, it takes about 7 to 10 minutes for your eyes to shift from cones to rods. Now, diurnal birds, daytime birds, are predominantly, they have a concentration of cones in their eyes, as we do. So we can see lots of color. Owls are about 30 to 1 among their cones and rods toward the rods. So their night vision is extremely good. And so owls are using that light, and they have an abundance of rods for their night vision. Go ahead. Now, if that's not enough to make them a great hunter, owls make incredibly good use of available light. They have something in the back of their life called tapetum lucidum. And that's a material on the back of their light that's reflective. And as that light comes in, it's reflected back out. As you can see these raccoons here, as you've seen, lots of animals are on television shows where someone looks into the night and they see all these eyes shining back at them. That's actually very true. It's a reflective tissue, and it increases the light that's available to the photoreceptors. So it's extremely good, and it makes them have much more light available to them. So between being able to look with the photoreceptors in their eyes and with the eye shine, the owls are formidable predators at night to be hunting at night. So tomorrow is the 51st Earth Day, and we've been celebrating it for 51 days, and I figure anyone who's sat through a talk who would like to learn about owl eyes doesn't need a lecture on climate change and Earth Day. So I think we have a lot of challenges in front of us. Tomorrow on April 22nd, there at 10 a.m. at earthday.org is a live digital event that people can participate in. President Biden is also hosting a global virtual summit on climate change, which I'm very optimistic about. And And one of the things that was noted to me, I listened to Jenny McCarthy, who was President Obama's director of EPA and also is President Biden's advisor on climate change. And she was asked about the climate and about the impact on the earth. And she said, well, it's kind of a misnomer. And I'm paraphrasing. She said, the earth is not in trouble. She said, the earth is going to recover just fine. We won't be here. So it's coming to that time where we really need to step up and take care of climate change. And this is 51 times we've had Earth Day. So this is one more we can do to participate. And I'm sure you'll all join us in doing our part. So thank you very much for participating today. And you can contact us. You can look at rmrp.org. That's our website. And you can also subscribe to us on YouTube. We're the Rocky Mountain Raptor program here in Fort Collins. Thank you very much.